You can't see them, but they can see you. Now think about this. We can see this, but there's a point where you can't see out there. And there are things that watch you out there. Some are good, some are not so good. Some could be Istahola. You never know. I can speak the language now. Okay. There is a thing called darkness. See that darkness out there? Yeah. Yeah. Can you see what's on the other side? Muskogean Nation. I am Choctaw. I am Homa. Again, Muskogean Nation. I have worked with the Jazz Fest. I am the Native American Cultural Coordinator for the Jazz Fest this year for 40 years. And so I interact with Native Americans in every part of the United States and Canada. I'm also a musician and a composer, and I write, and I write books, and I teach creative writing and visual arts in the school system. We were just talking about some things that and she was talking about how she wanted to listen to him. And about a week and a half later, I get not a phone call, but I get a email with 3 pictures of me talking, and the Dalai Lama sitting there looking up at me, smiling. And I'm thinking, wow, lady, you just had somebody who was lecturing to the Dalai Lama sitting next to you, you know? So, which was really neat. And I was telling them about me taking some of the monks over to Metairie Cafe and getting them po' boys. But, that was interesting, you know.
That's before they had phones, though, right?
That was way before. I think when we would have walked into Metairie Cafe, and now there would have been a lot of pictures, yeah. But my hair was down to there. I was in an old VW bus, and I get out with six monks with their maroon robes on, and we go in and get 7 po' boys with bark fruit beer. But also teach storytelling. Because a lot of people think storytelling is just for kids, and they're not. As a Native American storyteller, I've been to Smithsonian, I've worked with them and a lot of other places. Storytellers are walking Bibles of their culture. And so when anybody needs to know something about my culture, they usually call me up and get me to tell them a story or tell them history. So we're like I said, walking Bibles of our culture. And so I've been at it probably about 60 years now. And I remember sitting down with my grandmother and my grandfather and my great uncles and all, and they're all gone now, and now it's just me. So I'm gonna start off normally the way we start off. As a traditionalist, I am strictly Muskogean. So the stories that you hear are going to be from my culture and from me, and the songs that you hear are strictly from my culture, which you very seldom hear. And the first song I'm going to do to open up, because it's a friendship song, it's done with a rattle. And we do use drums, but not that often, just for special songs. But the rattles are actually our main instrument with our voice. And this is a stomp song, or what we call a friendship song, and this dates back probably 1,000 years. Wow. And I've sung this song on top of mounds and with a lot of my friends. And it is in our language. Right, let me tell you. Yo means yes. Your way means yes indeed. Means All right, we're simple people, you know. So here we go. We're gonna give it a shot. Me first. Yo. I know what flat tires are. Oh yeah! Woo! Oh yeah! Woo! Asians got that from us. Wait! Wait! Aha! He! Hoyo! Yokoki. And that means thank you. Y'all did good. And that is a stomp song, and it's a friendship song. And if you saw me when I was doing all this stuff, I said, I'm talking, you listening. Okay?
Just set it down.
Tane means to listen, and Nupa means to talk. And we celebrate people that passed on, dead, the dead people, and the elders that have passed on. And part of it is, in our culture, we use these stories to teach, but we also use these stories to scare people straight. You know, so they don't do anything bad. Well, I'm going to start off with the one I did for News with a Twist last year. They got me to do for Halloween one of my stories. And now it's become very popular. I've done it for quite a few. I've done it at Smithsonian, every place. And I'm the only one that does it, so I'm going to give the story to you tonight. And it's about Istahola. Now, in other cultures, they have a thing called the Grim Reaper. Our Grim Reaper makes everybody else's Grim Reaper look mild. Yeah, because our Grim Reaper doesn't wait till it's your time to go. He will make your time happen. You know, if you're not doing the right things. And we will take in, who's brave? Who wants me to use their name? Do you want me to use your name?
No, thanks.
Anybody want me to use their name? I'll make up a name.
No, you can
What's
use
that?
my name.
Shelly?
Callie.
Callie. Okay, Callie, I have to tell you, sometimes when I tell stories about people, it does happen.
Okay.
So.
Bring it on.
All right. So Callie. All right, Callie, you got a friend? What's that friend's name?
Carol.
Carol and Callie. Okay, who's going to be the good one? Who's going to be the bad one?
Carol's definitely the good one.
Okay, so Carol. Oh, so Callie is going to be the bad one. Okay. All right, so here we go. Carol. Once upon a time, there was this young girl. She's a Choctaw girl. Her name was Carol. She was a good person until she met Callie. Now, Carol spent her time, she did everything she was supposed to do. She was always nice. She did all the things. She listened to her grandmother. She did this. But one day, out of nowhere, Callie shows up. You ever been in your life where you all of a sudden someone shows up in your life and totally disrupts it? You don't know where they come from, how they got into your life, but they got there. All right? That's what Callie did.
That sounds so like me. I think we got this right here.
All right. So Carol, gone on her way, all of a sudden Callie shows up one day, and they become friends. How they became friends, we still don't know. Carol still doesn't know how they became friends, but they became friends. But what was really interesting about Callie and Carol, every time they got together, they would get in trouble. Now, the one thing about Callie and Carol is that Carol would always get in trouble, but when it got down to it, when everybody was getting in trouble, Callie was nowhere to be seen. They would get in trouble together, but only Carol would get in trouble. Callie was gone. You ever had that happen before?
Oh, yeah.
Probably. Well, this kept going on, and before you know it, Callie and Carol, but Carol mostly, started getting a bad reputation of being a bad person. So Carol's grandmother came up to her and said, Carol, you need to straighten out. You need to become good. You're starting to get a bad reputation. People are starting to look at you in a really bad way because you're hanging around with that person, Callie. Is that who she's called? And she goes, yeah. Why do you hang out with her? She's my friend. With a friend like that, you don't need no enemies, she said. You don't hang out with her. She said, if you keep doing that and you keep getting in trouble, something bad's going to happen to you and I can't help you. And Carol goes, what's going to happen to me? She said, Istahola might show up. And Carol goes, Istahola? Who's Istahola? Oh, Istahola will show up and you're going to be real sorry. And she left it at that. Well, Carol still hanging out with Callie and they still getting in trouble. But Callie's not getting in trouble. Still Carol by herself. Nobody really sees Callie. Just sees Carol getting in trouble. Time goes by, Grandma grabs her again. You're getting in trouble. Nobody likes you anymore. Istahola's gonna show up. She says, who is this Istahola, Carol says. She says, let me tell you, when Istahola shows up, Istahola comes in many different forms. Istahola could come as a butterfly, could come as a dog, as a cat, could come as a person. Anything could be Istahola. And you might be the only person to see it. And it'll whisper in your ear and it'll tell you things. But it'll tell you you only got 4 days. 4 days to make things better. And what would happen in 4 days? Istahola comes and gets you and you'll never be seen again. Carol goes, I don't believe in no Istahola. That's an old wives' tale. Grandma said, I don't know. You're getting very close to finding out about Istahola. What does it look like again? Well, if a butterfly talks to you, or whatever bug talks to you, but then you look it in the face, it has no eyes. It's black. It's, just empty. Ah, you're just trying to scare me. Well, time goes by, and she's getting worse and worse, and this Callie girl's getting in more and more trouble. Carol's walking down the dirt road one day, and she sees in the distance someone leaning against a tree. And she looks, and she sees it's an old man, and he's got a big black hat, and he's got his head down, and he's leaning against a tree. And she's watching him, and she's got to pass him. He's on that road. And right as she gets right near him, he goes, hey! And she jumped back, and she looked, and the old man says, that's Carol, right? He goes, how you know me? Oh, I know all about you, he says. I'm just here to tell you, I'm giving you a chance. She says, you don't even know me. Oh, I know everything about you. I'm giving you a chance. And if you do what I tell you to do, we okay. And she goes, you don't know me, but if I don't do what you say, what are you gonna do? And he looks up with no eyes and said, I'm gonna get you. And she just jumped back like this, and he grinned with no eyes, and he put his head back down. He says, you got 4 days to go to everybody in the village and tell them you're sorry. Then after you do that, find me here at this tree. And when you find me at this tree, tell me you're sorry, and we're gonna be okay. But if not, I'm gonna get you. And he vanishes right in front of her eyes. She's like, whoa! She took off running, man. She just took off running, and she made it all the way to her grandma's house. She knocked on the door, and the grandma opened the door. And she looked, and the boy, she's sweating, and she's huffing and puffing. And she goes, whoa, girl, what's wrong? What's wrong? An old man. She said, what old man? Old man, he said he's gonna get me. What old man said he's gonna get me? I saw him at the tree down on the trail. He said he's gonna get me. Wait. What old man? Well, he said if I don't do what he says, he's gonna get me. He says I gotta tell everybody I'm sorry, I gotta be good, I gotta change, and I gotta tell him he's sorry, or he's gonna get me. But then when he looked up at me, he had no eyes, and Grandma went, oh, Istahola. You got 4 days. And he goes, well, what do I do? And by the time they were talking, and by the time it got to the point where she was gonna do what she needed to do, it was dark. And she looked around and she goes, I can't do this tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. And she went next door because that's where she lived. And she got in her bed and she laid in that bed. And she just thought about Istahola. And she got worried and she was scared. But about 2 o'clock, she starts to go to sleep. Now, in other cultures, they say the witching hour, or the time the spirits move around, is at midnight. Nah, in the Native American world, it's not. It's between 2 and 4. It's when when the darkness and the light start to change. And it gets this darkness, that's where the spirits go in and out. 2 o'clock hits. And all of a sudden, the door opens up. And across the floor, she hears a sound. Voop, 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 voop. And it stopped at the foot of her bed. And she's laying in her bed like this. And she looks up, there's the old man! He was at the foot of her bed. He looked at her and said, did you do it? She went, what? You know what I told you today. Did you do it? Oh, no, not yet. It was dark and I was scared. And the old man said, whoa, wait a minute. You were scared of the dark? You wasn't scared when you were doing all them bad things. Well, she says, I got 4 days. Oh, no, he says. You only got 3 days. That was yesterday. I'm gonna get you if you don't do it. And he vanished right in front of her. And she's laying in the bed and she's thinking about it, and she looks down in her bed and she goes, oh my goodness, I've never done that since I've been 2 years old. She wet her bed. Oh, she got out, she changed, she got back in the bed, and she laid there all night, scared. Next morning, she got up. She went into the kitchen where her mom and dad and everybody was at. She went and told them that she was sorry. She apologized. She was never going to do it bad again. And she goes out the door. And who was sitting on the back porch waiting for her? Do you know?
The old man.
Callie.
Callie, you're going to have to leave.
She was on the back porch waiting for her. And she goes, whoa, where you going, Carol? Where you going? I'm going. I gotta go. Istahola came. Istahola came. I gotta go tell everybody I'm sorry. She goes, Callie goes, there ain't no such thing as no Istahola. And Callie was so convincing that she got her to stop thinking about it. You know, some people do that. They can get you to change your mind that quick and get you to do stuff that you never planned on doing. Because they're good at it. Well, she convinced her to go. And they took off all day. And when Carol got back home, Grandma was on the porch going, Carol goes up and she sees Grandma, and Grandma goes, where you been? Oh, no, don't have to say anything. You got in trouble with that Callie girl today, huh? Yeah. Oh, we know about it. Indian Telegraph, man. We knew about it. Ooh, we knew about it. Did you do what the Istahola said? Well, you must not because you did bad today. Oh. She says, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna do it. And then she looks around and it's like, it's dark. I'll do it tomorrow. I got 2 days left. I can do it. So she gets in her room. She covers up and she's thinking about 2 more days she has to do it or Istahola's gonna get her. She's laying in bed. She goes to sleep. She hears the door again. Boof. Across that floor. Boof. Boof. And she doesn't want to open her eyes, but she does. And that old man's right there again. And he says, don't even say a word. I know you didn't do it, and I know you got in trouble again with that girl. Well, Carol says, I got 2 days. I can do it. Oh, no. I'm in charge. You messed up. I'm only giving you 1 day. You got 1 day. I'm going to come get you tomorrow night. She goes, oh, and he vanishes right in front of her. She lays in bed. She's scared to death. She's crying. Next morning, she gets up. She runs into that kitchen again, apologizes again to everybody, and runs off to that back porch. And guess who's sitting on that back porch waiting for her again?
Troublemaker
Callie. Yep. She goes and she grabs her. Wait, where you going? She said, leave me alone, girl. I ain't listening to you. Where you going? She said, I got to go tell everybody I'm sorry. I got to go tell everybody I'm sorry because I got to go to find the old man and I got to get this done. Istahola's going to get me. She goes, they ain't no, but in between us saying they ain't no Istahola, she took Callie by the forehead, pushed her off the porch, right into the mud. I ain't listening to you no more. She took off running. She went and told everybody she was sorry. She apologized. She was going to be good. She even told 4 cats, 2 dogs, and a couple cockroaches. Just to make sure she had everything covered. Then she went to find that tree where that old man was. Well, she went and she found that tree, but the old man wasn't there. She goes, oh man. And she hears the wind pick up. Oh man, I'm here. Did you do it? She heard that in the wind. She says, are you old man? Did you do it? She says, yeah, I did it. I told everybody. I told everybody. I told some dogs, cockroaches, and some cats. I told everybody. And the wind came up again and said, no, you didn't. You didn't tell everybody. And she said, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, old man. I am never, ever going to do it again. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be good the rest of my life. And the wind stopped for a second. And she thought she had it made. She went, whew. And the wind came up again. You did not do it. You didn't tell everybody. She goes, yes, I did. I told you. I told everybody. Shh, no, you didn't. You didn't tell the most important person that you hurt the most. And she sat and she thought. She said she told everybody. And she says, oh man, who didn't I tell? The wind came up again. The person you see in the mirror every day. and she thought, oh my God. She realized how she was hurting herself. Nobody liked her anymore. She was almost getting taken away by the Istahola. She goes, oh my goodness. And she looked at her hands and she said, I am so sorry. I am never going to do anything to hurt you again. And the wind came up again and said, have a good life. That girl took off running. She went back and hugged everybody. And you know what? From that day on, she was good. She lived to be 100 years old. And she was good, and she was the role model for everybody. But 3 days later, that Cali girl disappeared, and nobody ever seen her again. Somebody had to take her place. Now,
I know who took her.
there are many different reasons behind the story. There's morals behind the story. And I like people to tell me what they think the moral is, but I usually try to say, was Callie real or was she not real? Was Istahola real or was Istahola her conscience? Or was Istahola, or was Callie sent by Istahola to test Carol? Many different reasons, but one thing I can tell you is throughout life, we're given many chances. She got 4. But sometimes we get chances in our life and we don't take them. And eventually, we don't have any more chances. So get them while you can. And that's the end of that story. Thank you. So, anybody scared of Istahola? If you raise your hand, you must be bad. Oh, because if you ain't scared, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Istahola ain't coming to get you.
I'm scared.
That means that you got to do what now? You got to tell everybody you're sorry. You got to be good. Yeah.
But he's not real in our town.
In our town. Real in our town.
All right, let me tell you another story
No, we
that might make you want to doubt what you just said. Okay.
He's gonna.
There is a thing called darkness. See that darkness out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see what's on the other side of that darkness? Now, if those other lights are out, but right on the other side of that darkness, you can't see too much. They say that things travel right on the outside of the light. You can't see them, but they can see you. Now think about this. We can see this, but there's a point where you can't see out there. And there are things that watch you out there. Some are good, some are not so good. Some could be Istahola. You never know. This story is about something that happened right outside the darkness. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you sleep with your mom and dad tonight, it ain't my fault. Okay. This story, and I'm going to tell you, it's a true story. This story, there was a medicine person. What do we call a healer, a medicine person. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. And this is during the 20th century. Native American thing, but it's during the 20th century. Gets a phone call, 10 o'clock at night. And the person on the other side of the phone said, please come. I need you bad. Something bad has happened. And the person that was there, the elder or the medicine person goes, I'll come tomorrow. No, you gotta come tonight. It's very important. Now, this medicine person lived in a place called Louisiana. But the person that was calling him lived in a place called Florida, on the border of Alabama and Florida. And he says, you want me to come tonight? Yeah, you have to come tonight. So that medicine person jumped in that vehicle, 20th century, and drove all the way to this place called Atmore.
Stop, Abby.
It's a reservation, creek reservation. Gets to Atmore, but gets outside the reservation in this big area. It looked like this. It was dark. It was huge. It was out in the middle of nowhere. And this elder